Is a class on the Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd Canto, 26th chapter, text number 5, given by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, recorded on December 17th, 1974, in Bombay, India.
Divided into varieties by her threefold modes, material nature creates the forms of the living entities, and the living entities, seeing this, are illusioned by the knowledge-covering feature of the illusory energy.
Gunai vichitra sujatim sarupa prakitim priya vilakka mumuhi sadya sahya jnana guyai. Living entities, they have knowledge. That is the difference between matter and living entities. Living entities, they have not knowledge. The dull matter still requires to be developed. They are also covered knowledge. There is knowledge, but it is covered. Just like the tree, it is also a living entity, but the knowledge is more covered than the moving living entities. There are two kinds of living entities, moving and not moving. Savar Jangam. Savar means standing, cannot move, and Jangam means moving. So Jangam is better than this Savar. And amongst this Savar, there are varieties. The insects, ants, reptiles, serpents, they are also Jangam. But one is better than the other, one is better than the other. And finally, we come to this position, human being, moving, but better than all the lower animals, insects. Development of consciousness. But originally, we are all pure living entities. We are contaminated by the modes of material nature. The more we are contaminated, our consciousness is covered. Therefore it is said, Gunai vichitra. Vichitra means varieties. Why there are varieties? The varieties are because according to our association with the different material modes of nature. Therefore there are varieties. There are 8,400,000 varieties of forms simply on account of different type of association. Bhagavad Gita also says, Karanam gunasanga asya sadasya joni janmus. So many varieties of living entities in this material world, they are due to gunai vichitra, by the different qualities, mixture of qualities. On the gross estimation, the mixture is sattva, raja, tama, the first mixture. So this mixture has to be analyzed and separated. Just like in printing, there is color separation process. It is also like that, color separation process. The Satagun, Rajagun, Tamagun now mixed up by expert management, by expert process, they can be separated and we can come purely on the Satagun platform And as soon as we come to the Satagun platform, then we can see things as they are. Chindanti sarva samsaya. When we are in the mixed up qualities, then muhe, then we are bewildered. Just like at the present moment, the human society cannot understand what is God. Cannot understand. Mumuhe. It is the chance, human form of life, to understand God. And therefore, Shastra, Vedanta says, Athato Brahma Jigyasa. Now you inquire about Brahma. Uttishtata Jagrata Prapta Varan Nibodata. Why you are sleeping again? This is a chance. There is a very good example that some people, they keep the titti bird and they are trained on to walk on the field and again come in the cage. So the master gives him the chance, now get out, come in the free field. So if he likes, he can go out, fly away. But his attraction is so acute that after some time walking on the field, again the master says, again he enters. He could fly away. This is a chance. Similarly, the mother material nature or Durga Devi. Durga means the superintendent of this prison house material, Durga. Durga. You cannot go out. That is called Durga. Durga means fort also. Very difficult. Duruha, to go out. So, the superintendent is called Durga. The Mother Durga is the superintendent of this material world. Srishti Sthiti Pralaya Sadhana Shakti Dekas, very powerful. She has got 10 hands. 10 hands means 10 directions. East, west, and north, south, and the 4 corners, 8, and up and down. 10 directions. Deep, dasha deep. So she is watching all sides. He cannot get out. Therefore she is called Durga Devi. This material world is called Devi Dham. The place where the Devi, Mother Durga, is the superintendent. Devi Disha Guname Maya, she is called also Maya. Devi Maya. Maya, whose Maya? It is Krishna's Maya. Maya means something wonderful, mystic. Or Maya means illusion, so many different meanings. Maya means affection also. So, Samayada, this Durga Devi Maya is Krishna's Maya. Just like prison house. Prison house is also government house. But it is not as good as the government house. It is government, superintended by the proprietor is the government. It is looked after by the government. You can call it government house. But government house is different, Raj Bhavan. Similarly, everything belongs to Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Ishavasam, idam sarvam. Everything belongs to Him. Therefore Krishna says, Mama Maya. Mama Maya. Devi Dhisa Gunamayi Mama Maya. That is creation of Krishna. It is necessary. The question is asked, why Krishna created these material energies which is so miserable condition. Dukkhalayam asasatam. So it is not Krishna willingly created, but he gave the chance to the living entities who forgot Krishna. He forgot Krishna's service and wanted to enjoy this material world. Indriya tarpam, Indriya pritaya, nunam pramatta kurute vikarma. Here they are doing just against the law. Kurute vikarma, karma, vikarma and akarma. So we have very good experience, especially in big cities. People just to get money, they are doing so many unlawful activities. Vikarma. That is vikarma. They know that if I do this, it is punishable by law, but still, for getting money, they do that. That is the nature of this material world. For sense gratification, one can do anything, risking life also. The thief is stealing, still there, hiding, and risking life to get some money. Why money? And money will supply his sense gratification. Therefore, when one is after sense gratification, he is mad, he becomes mad. Balvan Indriya Grama, Duddanta, Indriya Grama, these are the adjectives. Duddanta Indriya Kalasat Papatali, these are the description. Indriya, the senses, are just like a snake's Kalasat Papatali, as the snake, as soon as it bites, immediately there is death. So similarly, our indriyas, the material senses, are like Duddanta Indriya Kalasat Papatali, and we are using it. These senses are being used in this material world. Therefore it is said, Nunam Pramatta, that become mad. Mad after sense gratification. Then the sublime sense gratification is sex. Therefore it is advised that matra satra duhitrava navivikta sani vaset balavan indriya grama viddam sapitarsati. So we shall be very much careful about the senses. The whole yogic process means control the senses. Yoga indriya samyama. Indriyas are so powerful that it drags us to the hellish condition of life. It is very difficult. So, this material world means all crazy, mad fellow after sense gratification. Nunam pramatta kurute vikarma. Why? They are acting unlawful things, either stately unlawful or according to scripture unlawful. Just Indriya pritaya, only for sense gratification. Jad Indriya pritaya aprinoti. So Shastra says, with the statement of Rishabdev, he says, na sadhu manne. No, it is not good. Na sadhu manne jato atmanayam, atmana the soul, asannapi klesade asadeha. The Atma is covered by this material body, although it is temporary. Sometimes it is for 10 years, or sometimes 20 years, sometimes 100 years, sometimes millions of years, but it is limited. Either you get the body of Lord Brahma or the body of the poor ant, they are all temporary. It will finish. So although it is finishable, Nunam pramatta kurute vikarma jadindriya pritaya apnoti jato atmanayam asan. Asannapi Asan means it is temporary. But so long you have got this body, klesada, it is painful always, miserable. Adhyati, adibhauti, adidevi, some kinds of miserable condition must be going on. So this is our position. Therefore, Atmadarshan, one must know what he is. He is spiritual being. Spiritual being has nothing to do with this material world, but somehow or other we have fallen in this material world. Anadi karamo phale puri bhavan navo jale. It is just like ocean. So, just like if you fall down from the boat or the sea, then it is struggle for existence. You may be very nice swimmer, but that does not mean in the water you will be comfortable. That is not possible. Similarly, we living entities, part and parcel of God, we are as pure as God. Krishna, God, is pure. Parabrahma param dhama pavitram paramam bhavan. Pavitra. So similarly, pavitra means without material contamination. That is pavitra. So the avavitra pavitra va sarvavathangatu piva jasmare pundarikakham sa bahya abhantaram suchi. This is the process that you may be pure or impure. Material condition means impure, contaminated condition. So, to get out of this contaminated condition, the Shastra says, Jasmare pundarikakham. If you always constantly think of pundarikakham, the lotus eyed Krishna or Vishnu, Jasmare pundarikakham sa bahya abhantaram suchi. He becomes externally and internally suchi, purified. So, at the present moment, our position is contaminated position by the contact of the three modes of material nature. Gunai vichitra. Gunai vichitra. You see so many varieties of life. Different varieties of life. Uchavas. Some of them are higher, in higher position, some of them are lower position. But this vichitra, soul, is pure. That is one quality. But this vichitra quality, why vichitra means variety? Because gunai. Karanam gunasangas. Why one has become dog and one has become God? God means demigod. They are also living entities within this material world, but they live in higher planetary system. Just like here also you see, some of them are living in high skyscraper building, very comfortable apartment, and some are living in the huts, jhopri. In Bombay you can see both things are there. Similarly, these demigods, Indra, Chandra, Varuna and many others, they are also living very comfortably in higher planet. They are also living it. But they are mostly in the Satoko. And here, in this planet, or lower than this planet, they are mostly in Rajagun and Tamagun. That is stated in the Bhagavad Gita. Urdham gachanti sattva. If you develop Satagun, then gradually you can be elevated to the higher planetary system where the demigods live. Madhye tishtanti rajasa. If you are affected by the Rajagun, then the middle planetary system means Bhur Bhuva Sa. Om Bhur Bhuva Sa. Tat Sabitu Varannam Bhargadeva Swami. So, and lower planet, then Tal, Atal, Nital, Patal, Rasatal, Talatal, there are so many down planetary systems. There are 14 planetary systems, 7 down, 7 up. So, this is going on. That's what is called Gunai Vichitra. All these living entities and their living condition, their mode of life, standard of life, everything, they are simply contamination of the three gunas. Three gunai vichitra. Sijating sarupa prakriting praja. Sarupa prakriting. They are getting this form according to the tendency of the mind, sarupa. If I contaminate tamagun, then I get lower grade life. If I contaminate rajagun, then middle grade life. And if we contaminate, that is also contamination, but it is better than the other two. So, all of them are material qualities, and that is unwanted association of the living entity. That is not required, because in the Vedas it is said, asangayam purusha. The living entity has nothing to do with its material qualities, but somehow or other he has come in contact. Therefore Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Anadi karama phale pori bhavan nava jale. And the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also says like that, Oi nanda kanuja patitam king karanamam bhishame bhavam buddho. My dear Lord, Nanda Tanuja, the son of Nanda Maharaj, Krishna, I am your eternal servant. Oi Nanda Tanuja, patitam king karanamam. I am, somehow or other, have fallen in this ocean of material existence. Kindly pick me up and make me the dust of your lotus feet. It's like if you are in the ocean, somehow or other, if you have taken 1 inch above the water, you immediately feel relief. So you have to become at least 1 inch above these material qualities. Then you are liberated immediately. So who can do that? That is done by Krishna. Not the demigods can do that. It is not possible. Only Krishna can do it. Just like if one is condemned to death, nobody can save him. Only the king can save him. The president can save him. Nobody can save him. It is not. By law, nobody can save him. One is condemned to death. Everyone knows that. By king's mercy, by president's mercy. So similarly, we are here in this material world, just like condemned to death. Condemned is practical, condemned to death. Who is not condemned to death here? Who can say, no, I am not condemned to death? Can anyone say? Everyone is condemned to death. As sure as death, that is condemned to death. Why shall I die? If my nature, constitutional position is na jayate na mriyate, I do not take birth, I do not die, then why I am dying? That is condemned to death. So condemned to death, we are acting in such a way. That is nunam pramatta kurute vikarma. We have got one life, and there is, according to the body, the dog is working in a certain way, the cat is working in a certain way, the man is working in a certain way, the brahmana is working in a certain way, the shudra is working in a certain way, according to the body. The child is working in a certain way, the grown-up young man is doing in a certain way. So, according to body, we are working in different way, vichitra, but they are all contaminated activities. Therefore, we have to take shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna. That Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Oi Nanda Kanuja Patitam Kinkaramama. I understand that I am your eternal servant. My position is your servant. But I prefer to become the servant of Maya. Therefore, this is my fallen position. If you kindly take me again, and he is ready, Krishna is ready. Therefore he comes personally to canvass that why you are rotting in this material world. Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam saranam bhaja. Just like fathers, saint father, request the builder's son, why, my dear son, you are suffering in this way? Why don't you come back to home? Live peacefully and blissfully. But no, we are determined. We are determined. Although Krishna is canvassing, his devotees are canvassing. No, no sir, we shall enjoy here. What is enjoyment? Birth and death, disease and old age, is that enjoyment? But they have no brain to understand. Dull, mudha, duskitina. Therefore Krishna says, Namana duskitina mudha prapadante naradhama. Krishna says, surrender unto me, I give you protection. But they will not do. Why? Because duskitina mudha naradhama. That is the position. So, because we are Diskutina, Mudha, Naradhama, therefore there are so many varieties of life. Gunai, Vichitra, such a thing. And that is being done by the material nature. Karanam Gunasanga Sadasat Janma Junishu Prakite Krimanani Gunai Karmani Sarvas. Prakriti, nature's law, it is so perfect machine. We have several times said that there is perfect machinery. If you have contaminated the germs of cholera, smallpox and anything, venereal disease, then you must suffer from this. The machine is working. Machine is working. Similarly, the machine of the Prakriti is working very finely. As soon as you contaminate one kind of Satagun, Rajagun, Tamagun, then you become contaminated, and your activities and your body and your mode of life, everything according to that contamination. So in order to save ourselves from this contamination, the only process is, as Krishna says, Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam saranam aham tva sarva papibham moksha. Here, the so-called pious activities, that is also sinful act. That is our mental concoction. We are meant, this is pious and this is impious. But to remain in this material world is itself impious, because it is contamination. So when you are diseased, contaminated, so where is the difference of pious activities and impious activities? It is simply imagination. In the material world, there cannot be any pious activities, because the result is suffering, birth and death and old age. Then where is your pious activities? It is simply concoction. So when Krishna says Sarvadharman parityajya, Sarva means all. What is that all? Because we have created something pious and impious. Something good, something bad. The Krishna says, you rascal, give up all this bad and good. Your so-called bad and good has no value. The only value is that you surrender unto me. And then that is value. Otherwise, you concoct. This is very good, this is very bad. In the prison house, if you think a first-class prison is very nice, after all it is prison house, your independence is cut down. So you may think that if it is actually first-class prison, politicians, they are given first-class classification, a prison house. Does it mean the politicians want to remain there for good? Why they want to come out? So, similarly, here in this material world, it is simply vichitra, varieties. We call this is first class, this is second class, this is third class. It is only varieties. Actually it is all third class. There is no first class, second class. Gunai vichitra. You like some color. Somebody likes red color, somebody likes blue color, sometimes yellow color. But after all it is color. You like this or that. Similarly, Satogun is yellow color and Tamagun is blue color and Rajagun is red color. So you may like this color or that color, after all it is material color. So you should become free from all this colorful life of material existence and you become pure. But how you can become pure? That is also given in the Bhagavad. Sagunan samatittayitan brahma bhuvaya kalpati. Brahma bhuta prasannatma nasujati nakhankati samasarveshu bhuteshu madbhakti labati. So, try to come to the platform of Satogun, not Satogun, Brahma Bhuta, transcendental, spiritual platform. Come to this Brahma Bhuta. Then your life will be successful. And if you want to lead this colorful life, sometimes Brahma, sometimes dog, sometimes cat, sometimes human being, sometimes king, sometimes worn of the stool. In this way, if you like this colorful life, the colorful life is going by the mode of material nature. As we are contaminating different colorful life, we are having this body. So, in order to, the Buddha philosophy gives little hint only. Nibbana. You just finish this colorful life, but it does not get further enlightenment. Simply, it gives the hint that you finish Nibbana. Nibbana means finish this colorful life. Become zero. He said zero, Sunnavadi. But actually we cannot be zero. Because we are eternal, how we can be zero? We have to enter another colorful life. That is spiritual life. That is spiritual life. Simply if you make zero, that is not. That is little better that you understand that this colorful life of material existence is not good. But what is your positive engagement? Unless you are positively engaged in another superior colorful life, you cannot give up this base colorful life. And that engagement into superior colorful life is devotional life. Just see superior. Bhagavan says in the Bhagavad Gita, Susukham kottumabba. Susukham. Su means very nice, and Sukham means happy. The devotional service is so nice and happy. You see, this devotional service, you always engage, you are always engaged in the deity worship, bring nice cloth. Instead of dressing yourself with nice cloth, dress Krishna with nice cloth. Then your desire for dressing nicely will vanish. Param drishtani vartate. Bhakta is satisfied when Krishna is very nicely dressed. He doesn't care for his own dress. Therefore this colorful life is diminished. Here we are trying to become very nicely dressed, to be attractive by others. But when one becomes a Vaishnava, he is no more interested in this colorful life. But he is interested in the colorful life of Krishna. He is interested.